Justice League. This series marked the last phase of the Paul Dini and Bruce Timm animated universe based around the DC comic book characters. Now, I'm aware there was a follow-up series that was the real end to what is commonly referred to as the Timmverse, called Justice League Unlimited. And there were the other shows about Batman and Superman that came before and carried over into this show's canon. Where do I begin? Well, how about the fact that this show got just about everything right, from the animation, to the writing, to the voice acting? Justice League swerves as the best adaptation of some of the most beloved comic book characters of all time. Transferring these iconic characters into a different medium is never easy, and had previously failed the folks over at DC for one main reason. They felt the need to make it kid-friendly. Nobody is actually seen murdered on screen. They don't play make-believe to trick the kids into thinking that someone went to a farm state where cartoon characters go to play with other cartoon characters. They straight up talk about murder, or at least say it in a non-so-subtle way. All about the plots are well thought out, and they covered their holes very well. Like the previous incarnations of the characters in the Timmverse, each character is done justice in terms of how similarly they are portrayed in both the comics and the show. Well, at least as closely as they can be in a children's show. The villains in particular stand out. Lex Luthor, voiced by Clancy Brown, is still a cocky, arrogant, over-intelligent businessman who will stop at nothing to bring down Superman and the Justice League, including squander his fortune. All of the other bad guys are also done very well. I could go on and on about each and every one of them, but that would take too long. The only other one I will mention is the one that might be my favorite of all time, despite showing up often enough on the show: the Joker. To be honest, as much as I enjoy the late Heath Ledger's performance, I can only think of the high-pitched, chilling cackle that Mark Hamill uses to bring the character to life by when I think of the Joker. If you really want to see a great, outbeat, much more mature version of his work as a character, check out the scenes from the video game Arkham City. They're absolutely terrifying. I'm sure you all want me to go on about how awesome Batman is, but I won't for 3 exact reasons. 1, the heroes aren't awesome unless they have great enemies to fight. 2, I've been mentioning how incredible the adaptations are, so I don't feel the need to mention every single one of them. And 3, he's goddamn Batman. When he's not awesome, even the Adam West version had his moments of greatness. Though on a similar note as Mark Hamill's Joker, Kevin Conroy is the voice I think of when I think of Batman, even more so than Kristen Bale's voice. Okay, I'll mention one hero. Great shows know when to lighten up and have a good chuckle, and the writing in the show does this perfectly, especially in regards to the Flash, voiced by Michael Rosenbaum. Yes, the voice actor that would play Lex Luthor in the popular superhero TV series of the 2000s, Smallville. And thank God, they decided to go with Wally West over Barry Allen as the Flash, no disrespect. For the most part, all of the other characters are played straight, so they always manage to give the Flash a chance to deliver a snappy one-liner to break the tension, which often results in his own personal embarrassment. You'd think this would be annoying, but time and time again, he proves himself to be a real hero, sometimes by coming through in the clutch as the Justice League's last resort by giving him a real remain in the Justice League. And finally, we get to the animation. And my god, the animation is just fantastic, and I'd say it still holds up. The lighting always sets the perfect mood, and it moves so smoothly that it almost feels like you're watching an actual fight between Superman and Brainiac. All of the characters look amazing as well. They even look as if they were based on real-life models, especially Wonder Woman. Best swimsuit ever. Now, I'm aware that some of you who are watching this video, especially the women folks, who are rolling their eyes and calling me a pervert. Well, I only have one thing to say, and it goes like this. Just shut up. I made it this far without being a weird creep in regards to her image, so just let me have this one attempt at this joke. Besides, you'd be crazy to deny that she had a great pair. Those bracelets work miracles for her. Justice League is one of the greatest shows ever based on a comic book. It really helped that some of these iconic figures had been developed, both in terms of animation and voice acting, for over a decade. After the success of the Batman and Superman shows, it was only logical for there to be a Justice League program as well. I would recommend watching the first two series, but if you know enough about these superheroes, then you should just go for it. Either way, it's not a necessity. Just put on your Superman costume with the underwear on the outside, sit in front of your Batman television, and if you're lucky enough, snuggle with your hot girl as you enjoy one of the greatest superhero teams ever. Justice League gets a 10 out of 10. This is Red Wolf signing out, and I'll see you next time. Peace.